Commander Sarah Chen stepped into the gleaming conference hall of the Galactic Defense Council, her worn combat boots clicking against the pristine marble floor. The assembled delegates, tall, graceful Altarians with their crystalline features, the hulking Vorthak with their chitinous armor, and dozens of other species, turned to observe the human representative with barely concealed amusement. Her helmet, scarred and dented from countless battles, drew the most attention. Whispers rippled through the chamber in a dozen alien tongues, all carrying the same sentiment: mockery. "The humans send us a warrior in damaged equipment," sneered General Kithrix, his reptilian features twisting into what passed for a smile among the Vorthak. "Perhaps they cannot afford proper armor for their champions." Ambassador Veltar of the Altarian Collective tilted her head, light refracting through her crystalline skin. "It is curious that they would display such imperfection before the Council. Do humans not understand the importance of presenting strength?" Sarah said nothing, taking her designated seat at the circular table. She placed her helmet beside her, the metal surface catching the artificial light and revealing the dozens of impacts that had left their mark across its surface. Each dent was unique, some circular, others crescent-shaped, a few bearing the distinctive parallel lines of claw marks. "The human delegation will now present their case for inclusion in the Corvani campaign," announced the Council's AI mediator, its voice echoing through the chamber. Sarah stood, her movements deliberate and calm despite the obvious disdain radiating from her audience. "Honorable delegates," she began, her voice carrying clearly through the hall, "humanity requests the privilege of joining the coalition against the Corvani threat." A wave of incredulous chittering rose from the Vorthak delegation. "Humans," General Kithrix's voice boomed, "your species has barely achieved interstellar travel. You lack the technological sophistication, the military tradition, the proven combat effectiveness required for such an undertaking." "Indeed," agreed Senator Quindar of the Ethereal Assembly, his translucent form shimmering with dismissive colors. "The Corvani have destroyed entire fleets. They have rendered 13 systems uninhabitable. What could humans possibly contribute against such a foe?" Sarah's hand moved to her helmet, fingers tracing one of the larger dents near the temple. "You see imperfection," she said quietly. "I see memory." The chamber fell silent, curiosity overriding contempt. "This dent," Sarah continued, pointing to a circular impact on the helmet's crown, "came from a Zerion plasma bolt during the outer rim skirmishes. The Zerion Empire believed their energy weapons were invincible." She paused. They were wrong. Ambassador Veltar leaned forward, her crystalline features catching the light. "The Zerion were destroyed 3 centuries ago. Their technology was deemed obsolete." "By us," Sarah replied simply. "This one," she indicated a series of parallel scratches along the helmet's left side, "belongs to the Shadowclaw dynasty. They prided themselves on their stealth technology and personal combat prowess." A murmur ran through the assembly. The Shadowclaw had been legendary warriors, their clan symbols known throughout the galaxy before their mysterious disappearance 200 years ago. Sarah's finger moved to another mark, this one resembling a starburst pattern. "The Neutron Lords of the Helix Nebula. They believed their mastery of stellar manipulation made them gods." Her voice remained steady, matter-of-fact. "This crack here represents the Crimson Horde, who thought their berserker fury was unstoppable." The chamber had grown deathly quiet. Every species present knew these names, legendary warrior cultures that had once dominated entire sectors of the galaxy. Some had vanished without explanation, others had simply faded from existence. General Kithrix's voice had lost its mocking tone. You encountered all of these forces?" "Encountered. Fought. Won." Sarah lifted the helmet, turning it slowly so every delegate could see its battle-scarred surface. Each mark represents a conflict my species survived. Each dent tells the story of an enemy that underestimated human resolve. Senator Quindar's ethereal form flickered with colors of confusion and growing concern. But the historical records show no evidence of human involvement in these conflicts. The Xerion Empire fell to internal strife. The Shadow Claws simply disappeared. Did they? Sarah's eyes met his translucent gaze. Or did they encounter something they weren't prepared for? Something small, seemingly insignificant, that refused to yield? Ambassador Veltar's crystalline features had lost their earlier smugness. You're suggesting that humans were responsible for the disappearance of these warrior cultures? Sarah placed her helmet back on the table, the sound echoing in the silent chamber. I'm suggesting that you've made the same mistake they did. You see our apparent weakness, our small size, our short lifespans, our primitive technology, and assume we're not a threat. She gestured to the helmet's scarred surface. Every species that ever made that assumption left their mark here. And every one of them learned the same lesson. Humans don't just fight to win, we fight to survive, and we will do anything, absolutely anything, to protect what we love. The silence stretched for long moments before General Kithrick spoke, his voice carefully neutral. And the Corvani threat? You believe you can succeed where others have failed? Sarah smiled for the first time since entering the chamber, but it wasn't a pleasant expression. General, I've studied the Corvani tactics. They rely on overwhelming force, superior technology, and the intimidation factor of their reputation. She picked up her helmet again, cradling it like precious cargo. 3 things that every species in this room once possessed. 3 things that every mark on this helmet once represented. She stood, preparing to leave. Humanity offers its services to the Coalition. We don't need the largest ships or the most advanced weapons. We just need the opportunity to do what we do best. Ambassador Veltar found her voice. And what exactly do humans do best? Sarah's smile widened, revealing something predatory in her human features. We endure, we adapt, and we make sure that anyone who threatens our family becomes just another dent in our armor. As she walked toward the exit, every delegate in the chamber stared at the battered helmet in her hands, suddenly seeing it not as a symbol of weakness, but as a trophy case. Each scar and dent now told a different story, not of defeat, but of victory. Not of damage sustained, but of enemies overcome. The vote to include humanity in the Corvani campaign was unanimous. After all, no one wanted to risk becoming the next mark on that helmet.